Are your translated pages just not showing up when people search in their own language? Like, you've got a perfectly good French version of your site, but somehow Google keeps showing your English page to French users. Or worse, it's not showing up at all. There's a really good chance the problem is Hreflang tags, or more specifically, the lack of them, or having them set up wrong. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what Hreflang tags are, why they matter so much for multilingual SEO, how to implement them properly, and the mistakes that trip up almost everyone the first time. Let's get into it. What are Hreflang tags? Okay, so let's start with the basics. What actually is a Hreflang tag? In simple terms, Hreflang is a piece of code that tells search engines which language and sometimes which region a specific page is meant for. So instead of Google guessing which version of your page to show someone, you're literally telling it, hey, this page is the English version, and this other page over here is the French version. This does two really important things. First, it helps search engines avoid treating your translated pages as duplicate content, which, without Hreflang, is a very real risk. And second, it makes sure the right language version actually gets shown to the right visitor. Here's what the code actually looks like. It's pretty simple once you see it. You can see it's just pointing search engines to the alternate versions of the page, along with the language code for each one. That's the core idea. We'll get into the more detailed rules in a bit. Why Hreflang is crucial for multilingual SEO. Now you might be thinking, okay, but do I actually need this? Let me give you 3 reasons why the answer is yes. First, it helps Google deliver the correct language version to the correct audience. Without it, search engines are basically guessing, and they don't always guess right. Second, it protects you from duplicate content issues. When you have the same content translated across multiple pages, search engines need a way to understand that these pages are related, not competing with each other. Hreflang clarifies that relationship. And third, it directly improves click-through rates. Think about it from the user's side. If someone searches in Spanish and your Spanish page shows up instead of your English one, they're way more likely to click because it's instantly relevant to them. So really, Hreflang isn't some optional technical detail, it's foundational if you're serious about ranking internationally. Where to add Hreflang tags. So where do these tags actually go? There are 3 main places, and I want to walk through all of them so you know your options. Option 1, directly in the HTML head of your page. This is the manual method. You add a link tag for every language version right in the head section of your code. Option 2, inside your XML sitemap. If your sitemap supports it, search engines can actually read the hreflang relationships straight from your sitemap entries instead of the page head. And option 3, automatically, through a plugin or translation tool. This is honestly the easiest route for most people. Tools like Linguise generate and manage all of this for you automatically, across every language version of your site. Now, let's look at how each of these actually works in practice. Common implementation methods. Manual, HTML head. Let's start with the manual method, since it's the one you'll see referenced the most. Say you've got your site in English, Spanish, and French. You'd add a block like this to the head of every single page. Notice something important here. Even the English page needs to reference itself. That's called a self-referencing tag, and it's one of the most commonly missed steps. Every language version, including the original, needs to point to all the others, itself included. Via sitemap. If manually editing every page header sounds like a headache, and honestly it is, you can instead add Hreflang information through your XML sitemap, as long as your platform or SEO tool supports it. Search engines will read the language relationships straight from there instead. Automatic via plugins and tools. And then there's the automatic route. If you're running WordPress, there are plugins that handle this for you. And if you want a solution that works across pretty much any platform, WordPress, Shopify, Webflow, custom-built sites, you name it, an automatic translation service like Linguise can handle the entire thing for you, Hreflang included. Let me walk you through exactly what that process looks like, step by step. Step 1. Register and configure your account. First, you register for a free Linguise account. During setup, you'll select your platform, add your website domain, and choose which languages you want to translate into. This is where the foundation for everything else gets set up. Step 2. Integrate Linguise with your website. Next, you connect Linguise to your site. Depending on your platform, this might mean installing an app, adding a small script to your site, or a quick DNS setup. Linguise walks you through whichever method applies to you. It's a one-time setup, not something you'll need to redo. Step 3. Review the automatic translation. Once you're connected, Linguise automatically translates all your pages into the languages you selected. From here, you can review those translations and fine-tune anything using the front-end live editor, so you're always looking at your actual site while you edit, not some disconnected admin panel. Step 4. Hreflang tags get added automatically. Here's the part we really care about for this video. While your pages are being translated, Linguise is also generating the SEO-optimized elements behind the scenes, and that includes Hreflang tags. You don't add these one by one. There's no separate step, no extra toggle to flip. It just happens as part of the translation process. Step 5. Check your multilingual pages. Finally, go check your translated pages and take a look at the URL structure. You'll notice your default language page, let's say English, stays as your original URL, but when you switch to another language, say Spanish, you'll see a language code added to the URL, like a / and AS's at the beginning of the path. That change in the URL is a visible sign that Hreflang is working correctly behind the scenes for that page. And that's really it. You never had to write a single line of Hreflang code yourself. Honestly, for most website owners, this is the route I'd recommend, especially if you're managing more than 2 or 3 languages. How to structure correct Hreflang cluster. Now, regardless of which method you use, there are a few rules that have to be followed for Hreflang to actually work. Let's go through them. Rule 1. Self-referencing tags. I mentioned this a second ago, but it's worth repeating because it's so commonly missed. Every page, including the original language version, needs to include a tag pointing to itself. Rule 2. Always use absolute URLs. That means the full path, starting with https://. Relative URLs will not work here. Rule 3. Reciprocal linking. If your English page links to your French page as an alternate, your French page needs to link back to the English page too. It has to go both ways, or search engines will basically ignore the relationship. And Rule 4. Use the correct language and region codes, following the BCP 47 standard. So that's things like on NUS, FR, PT-BR. These codes matter more than people realize. Get them wrong and Google may not index your pages the way you expect. Common mistakes to avoid. Let's talk about where people usually mess this up, because Hreflang looks simple, but small errors can quietly break the whole thing. Mistake 1. Using the wrong language or region code. A classic example is using NUK when the correct code is actually NGB. It's a small typo, but it's enough to break the tag. Mistake 2. Forgetting the self-referencing tag we talked about. Super common, super easy to miss. Mistake 3. Tags that aren't reciprocal. If page A links to page B, but page B doesn't link back, search engines will treat the relationship as invalid. Mistake 4. Partial implementation. Adding Hreflang to some pages but not others creates an inconsistent signal, and it can confuse search engines more than not having Hreflang at all. And mistake 5. Conflicts with your canonical tags. Your canonical tag should never override or contradict your Hreflang setup. These two need to work together, not against each other. My tip here, always double-check your implementation using a tool. Google Search Console will show you Hreflang errors directly, and there are dedicated Hreflang validator tools online that catch issues before they hurt your rankings. SEO tips and best practices. Before we wrap up, here are a few extra best practices worth keeping in mind. Pair your Hreflang tags with the HTML lang attribute and your canonical tags. These 3 should always be consistent with each other, never contradicting. Keep everything consistent across every language version of your site. If you update one, make sure the others reflect that too. Whenever you add a new page or a new language, remember to update your Hreflang setup to include it. It's easy to forget this step when you're scaling up your content. And finally, regularly check your sitemap and Search Console to confirm your multilingual pages are actually being indexed the way you expect. Alright, let's do a quick recap. Hreflang tags tell search engines which language version of a page to show and to which audience. You can add them manually in your HTML, through your sitemap, or automatically using a tool. And the biggest thing to remember, Avoid those common mistakes we just covered, especially missing self-references and non-reciprocal tags. If your site is multilingual and you haven't set up Hreflang yet, this is genuinely one of the highest impact SEO fixes you can make. And if you'd rather skip the manual setup entirely, Linguise can handle your translations and Hreflang tags automatically. You can try it free for 1 month, no credit card needed. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to check it out. If this video helped you out, drop a like and subscribe for more SEO tutorials just like this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.